Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
This is the Red Kingdom Media Live Postgame Show.
What an unexpected nail-biter as the Chiefs are able to successfully defeat the Carolina Panthers in Week 12 with a final score of 30-27. And this is the Red Kingdom Media Live postgame show, and we are your hosts for this afternoon's festivities, as if you're watching live or after the fact. Clinton, Dale, Lonnie in that order going down the line in video. How are we feeling about this very tight matchup here against a tanking Carolina Panthers team, should we say?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you could say tight, but I think the score isn't really indicative of what we've seen in the game. I think it was a little bit more domination on the Chiefs side of the ball, especially on the offensive side of the ball, until we got into the penalties later in the game on both sides of the ball with the pass interferences and some of the holding calls that we had. I think that some more problems kind of reared their heads for the Chiefs again. Our cornerback 2 position is really still a problem, and as you can see, the left tackle thing is kind of still an issue as well. So not getting pressure, just as far as Mahomes being not able to get the ball off, seeing a lot of pressure. I think that we have an issue that we need to address at both of those positions, and I think the Chiefs already have answered some questions. Going out and getting Humphreys to kind of help with the left tackle position, but I wonder what the answer is for the quarterback 2 position, because Najee Johnson is like a man on an island out there that's just like stranded. He needs help, and a lot of it soon. And I don't know if any is coming, but I don't think the score is really, like I said, indicative of what we've seen in the game. It was kind of dominant on both sides early on, but the game kind of got sloppy late, which is why we won by a field goal. But all in all, happy we got back on track with the win.
Yeah, penalties killed us like towards the second half. I liked the performance in the first half. I didn't really care for, the Panthers going downfield on us a couple of times, kind of, really making their way and putting up early field goals at first. However, just that second half, a disappointment defensively, letting Bryce Young pretty much do what he wanted, really connecting with his wide receivers down the field, not really getting affected by the pressure that was coming along the way. He really did good. He did a great job and made the Panthers really think about what they're going to be doing next season. But overall, I mean, I'm just glad that we were able to get away with a win. Offensively, they were looking good at first. They were moving down the field pretty efficiently. But in that second half as well too, you saw a couple moments where we had 9 plays for 14 yards. A lot of penalties killed us at that time, and you see that's what's actually bringing them down in these moments when they are playing against these other good teams as well too, and even the worst teams in the league as well. We just keep on shooting ourselves in the foot. And like Lonnie said already, the offensive line, primarily the left tackle position, but Juwan Taylor didn't look great today as well. But overall, I think, when DJ Humphreys is available and ready to go, hopefully we can see him in this Black Friday game. It can be a different story, because when Patrick Mahomes has time in the pocket, he definitely can dial up. And it looks like DeAndre Hopkins is getting involved in the offense as well too. And it made mention of Xavier Worthy being a great route runner as well, being able to get open, not just being a fast guy. So you have the players there. You have the athletes that can make plays down the field, and also make plays on the other side of the ball on the defensive side as well too. But they just need to start coming together coherently and just playing on one accord and just having that dominance. And I think that's what is frustrating a lot of people in this matchup right here. This was a game to say, okay, this is one of the worst teams in the league. At least can you do it against them? Like I said, I wanted the 34-17 type of performance today. I didn't get that. It was 30-27. The defense, of course, is like, hey, like, we can't keep on saving y'all. Y'all gonna have to put up more points yourself. But overall, I think we're just frustrated that today was supposed to be a game where we come onto this post game, pretty easy win, not really showboating talking about this or complaining as much, but getting ready for this these stretch of games that we about to have, because coming out, we got Black Friday on, coming up right here. Then my connection is horrible right now. But yeah, but that's how I feel overall
Yeah,
about,
we
that game.
missed that as soon as you said that you went back and then you went connection's bad. That's okay, Dale. We could sense your
So,
frustration. For me, I'll start with a positive and then go into the negative. Of course, the offense and the point production is about what I was hoping for. I think like last week or a couple weeks back, I was just saying if we could convert a couple field goals into touchdowns or punts into field goals, we'd be in better shape. And I think that showed up on the scoreboard today. I really enjoyed that touchdown within the first 90 seconds of the game, and really put the stamp on this that the offense is not, in a reduced state. But, as we saw the game progress, there were times where they were not getting the upper hand in their matchups. And specifically, the offensive line in particular started to lose theirs. And we saw I believe it was 5 total sacks by the end of the game. Definitely don't want to see that on Mahomes, but I really liked the offensive production Mahomes had, regardless of the sacks and other things that were going on during the game. We did not see the rushing attempts that we were kind of clamoring for as the need to win this game, but this game kind of became this offensive shootout anyway, and therefore it necessitated a bunch of throwing and up to almost 40 passing attempts, and that's where the offense was kind of running through more like we're used to, and how it's played in the past, where it wasn't as reliant on its rushing. But Pat had a couple big runs. There were some direct handoffs to McCole, and anybody else who was taking those handoffs were running well, but Chiefs were just choosing to go away from it, and the Carolina Panthers, in turn, were also that way, choosing to throw the ball on us. And no matter what, we only got to the quarterback, I think, one time to finally bring him down, and really was not generating the type of pressure against a team of this caliber. Before we go on to our official like offensive and defensive takes, we are officially live, and anybody who joins us in the comments will kind of go through and bring up your comments if you're relevant. And of course, we've got friend of the show / fellow contributor Rod in our comments. So I wanted to kind of address some of this before we move on. So, Dale, what are your thoughts if Kingsley was the right tackle and the new addition supplanted at left tackle, and essentially means Jawan Taylor gets a full-on bench? Is that probable in any way?
Truthfully, Rod, I'm gonna be honest. If we were ever gonna do this, they would have did it already. And seeing the issues that he had earlier on this season, that is changing him to right tackle is not gonna make it any better. I mean, if you look at it, Jawan Taylor, he started having a little bit, a couple of these problems the last couple games. But overall, I mean, he held his own against guys like Max Crosby. He matched up against Joey Bosa and guys like Khalil Mack as well too. And he made it through that portion of the season. At times, we know being offensive lineman, like you're going to give it up, but the main issue has been coming on that left side, and they made mention of it in the game as well too. At Wanye, he was dealing with a right knee injury as well, and he's already kind of trying to grow into that position, so it's not working out for them. So when DJ Humphries come in, I definitely want to see him at the left tackle, and we saw him there before with the Cardinals as well, and he was a Pro Bowler, so it's going to be definitely something that's going to shore up and beef up that offensive line. But Taylor, me and Lonnie talked about it before we got off as well too. Once you beat up on the offensive line and they have multiple penalties throughout that particular possession, it's hard for them to get out of that rhythm at that time. And we at least see them on the last drive that they were able to move the ball down the field. Patrick Mahomes was able to get out the ball quickly, but honestly, moving Kingsley over to right tackle is not going to make anything better for him. What he needs to do right now is I think he needs to learn from his mistakes, kind of take this hit, this punishment that he's having, but he needs to be picking the minds of those guys, those veterans, of like what he can do better within his game and implement it, because we will need him eventually down the line, because when it comes to postseason, health is going to be important, and we need those other bodies that can be able to come in, and he has come in those heavier packages. But overall, I think, moving him over right now to right tackle and taking Juwan out, you're going to mess up the entire chemistry of that offense line at that point.
And also, he chimes in that Wanye is hurting this team, playing hurt, and that could be essential as well. And then, Lonnie, for you, the offense struggled, and the offensive coordinator might be the problem. Do you think it's potentially time that Matt Nagy sees a hot seat and the Chiefs consider a change there, whether mid or off season?
Yeah, so I don't think Matt Nagy sees the hot seat. I think it's exactly what Dale is talking about, and what we were talking about earlier. Wanye may be playing through an injury, and I think it's anytime you get him pressure on the quarterback and he doesn't have time to get the ball off, your offense is going to look horrible, like it does. And that's why. I mean, you've seen it today. Juju went over there and kind of missed a block. I don't know if you want to call it missing a block or kind of messed up a protection trying to help Wanye Morris. We have to get somebody out there that can kind of hold their own, and players can kind of be able to do what they need to do. That's what you have to do in Andy Reid's system. And Wanye Morris just can't hold up right now. And that's going to make any offense look bad. I don't want to blame it on Matt Nagy and have him be the scapegoat here, because we can't seem to stop any rusher that's not a mainstream rusher like Jadeveon Clowney or a Max Crosby, or it's kind of like always the other guy who's killing us now. And that's usually the guy lined up in front of Wanye Morris.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll stay on the offensive side of the ball, which I thought was the bright point of the two. And we usually start with the downer. But since we're kind of looking at the problems of the offense first, I'll let you two kind of pick something. What did you not like about this offensive production, and then especially towards that middle stretch where the pass rush was just getting home immediately? Nobody was open after, the dichotomy of those earlier type plays where, the Chiefs were able to score so quickly and everything was kind of going in their favor. And I think I had mentioned it to you guys while the game was going on. That's the type of, Chiefs offense that we're used to seeing, where it's almost Madden stats. There's no incompletions. We're perfect. And everything's like a 10-yard completion and you're throwing when you absolutely have to, and stuff like that. But what do you guys attribute to kind of the offensive woes in this game, but overall was still a solid performance on their part?
So I think it's the running game. I think that's been the one consistent throughout the entire season. Is Kareem Hunt shows up to work with his lunch pail every day, and somehow clocks in and is able to get 2 or 3 yards per carry whenever he's doing anything. I know it's small and minute, but I think it's like a little thing that goes unnoticed. And then what he does in the pass game. A lot of people at that position have not been able to also get positive yards, but also hold on to the ball. Kareem Hunt has made an extreme difference at the running back position. I think that's why the Chiefs have been extremely efficient rather than being inefficient, going through all of these issues that they're going through right now. He's able to always turn something into a positive. Even like you just seen us getting in field goal range, he turns probably a 2 or 3 yard gain into like almost a 10-yard gain, almost getting the first down. Putting us even deeper in the field goal range, making it even easier kick. So I think Kareem Hunt is what has been keeping us going, and just slowly, really, was surely stirring the drink. And it's amazing to see that. It's like Father Tom has kind of came back and given everything that he needed to Kareem Hunt, so he can get those somewhat young legs again and let us ride on him for the most part. We're on his back at this point.
Man, Lonnie is going with Kareem Hunt. That was a guy that I've been rocking with ever since coming in. But I gotta give a shout out to Noah Gray. He been holding his own and really been locking in and making those plays that we've been wanting Travis Kelsey has to be making, and he has been having that connection that we typically see Mahomes have with Kelsey. Not that it has went away, but he has grown to a sense with Noah Gray, and I really do appreciate that because getting him involved, a lot of people sleep on him a lot, and I know when we had those moments when what happened when we had Jody Force and all those other tight ends as well too, and we always were kind of overlooking Gray at that time. Gray has been showing like, hey, he's the one who's actually the number 2 tight end on his team, and he can make plays going down the field. So just shout out to him for being able to step up in those moments, kind of really being able to, of course, really bring it in and come in and really make his own with the snaps that he has been getting, and then also just being efficient as he goes as well too. A guy, he doesn't drop the ball, he gets upfield, he never lose yardage, and he's always looking to get more yards down the field as he's going up. So just shout out to him for being able to come in those moments. And me and Lonnie was like talking about that earlier as well too, where when you think about it, I was like, Travis Kelsey, yeah, he has been kind of chilling out throughout this season and hasn't been, having as many big plays as before. But why not kind of like shift it a little bit and have him take over that realm a little bit? Kind of what we have seen with Buffalo when Dalton Kincaid came in and he started getting more of the bulk of being that tight end one. And then you had your guy Dawson Knox, who has been a vet in the league, who can also do it as well. But he's getting upper in age. We're going to need him in those moments down the stretch, towards the end of the season when we get into those playoff implication moments, get into the postseason. That's when it's going to matter most. So if you're able to get more production out the offense with, going through him and then getting everyone else involved outside of that, I think that's going to be big for the offense going forward, especially when we get Isaiah Pacheco back, where he's going to add that burst as a running back, coming along with Kareem Hunt.
Right. And Rod chimes in and agrees that Gray is the next Travis Kelsey 2.0. And I mentioned to you guys as well that like he might be, silently waiting for Travis to retire just so all that number 1 attention can be on him, because I don't think he's flashed so much around the NFL to get that type of attention that Travis Kelsey has received. But because of that, he's been allowed to thrive, and he has the same type of skill sets as Travis Kelsey, and learning from the best right behind him as his number 2 is kind of next level teaching right there.
And I've been paying attention to his mannerisms, and I like because you're the one who sparked the conversation, right? I was like, he's not, he's honestly right, because when I was looking at it beforehand, when he had made a couple big plays before, and he's coming across the field and he's catching the ball in the middle of the field, I see how he run the ball. He's starting to get that little shimmy that Travis Kelsey like to do. He does that little stutter as well too. I think he's been in the mind of Travis Kelsey throughout, of course, the off season, and played with him for the years that he has been with the Chiefs as well too, and growing from that, and it has been working out well. But he's adding a lot of what he has seen, what has made Travis Kelsey successful. He's adding that into his own element of how he played the game and how he's fitting into the scheme with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Agreed, and I think the Chiefs are very tight end. I don't know, happy's the right word, but they like all their tight ends, including Hendershot, and when Jody Fortson could get in on there. Andy Reid likes his tight ends, and he was really utilizing them, and it signals to other team that we're running the ball, and then they don't, and that's Andy's favorite thing, is to still get the pass. But I'm really happy with the tight end group as a whole, and I think they're kind of playing collectively. Between Travis and Noah Gray, you had 138 yards and 10 targets, 2 touchdowns, all going to Noah Gray, because, like I said, he's that second option, but not in a bad way. Second is in gets the spotlight when you assume the number 1 guy is supposed to, but doesn't. But other than the offensive line crumbling, and we've got future games that we can talk about that to see if they implement any of the changes that we've kind of formulated here in today's discussion. But I think for me, I was really happy to see the passing game kind of start to go back and that level of confidence rise, and not this idea that like a single penalty can derail a drive, because as we saw the Chiefs had, they had about 5 different penalties against themselves on one drive once they got in the red zone. Very, very flag happy game this game, but that is a discussion for another day. So any of you two have anything else you want to gloat about this Chiefs offense before we start to ponder this 27-point outing against the Chiefs defense?
Good job, Xavier Worthy. He keeping his feet in. Able to show his field awareness today. All over the field, running it short, deep. Hat off to Xavier Worthy. He had himself a game. We always talk about what he didn't do well in the last couple games. He did miss in some really, really big key opportunities on big plays. I mean, he kind of made up for that today, running those underneaths and reminiscing of Rashee Rice a little bit.
D-Hop is very comfortable in the offense now. He's not dropping anything. That's definitely something that we need on, what we need on this offense and goal line situations. I need that connection to get a little bit better. I need, D-Hop is going to be able to train him into that, I think. Hey, I'm a jump ball artist. I want it right here in this moment. When you see me on my break, that's why I want you to get it up. I think that's going to help him evolve with the other wide receivers that we have on the offense as well, too, that are good in those moments. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from D-Hop. Keep it up. I think postseason is going to go to another level.
And then I'm going to round it out and say that, Xavier Worthy is starting to flash, and I'm glad he's started to get talked about as Rashee Rice was in his first year. And I think, as the next couple of weeks kick up, he's going to start getting more of those targets as well. And I think the Chiefs are more than happy to let his, stats kind of go under the radar, and are more than happy to see him be utilized in like a route runner type role and to get everybody open. And Rod's had several articles this year already gloating how, he could have been open deep, but somebody else gets the pass instead. So, I'm waiting to see as the rest of the year picks up to see Xavier really start to get more of those targets. And I'd like to see those deep shots that have been, out of place this last, quarter of the season start to fix themselves, because those the Chiefs offense in particular may need free 7 points every once in a while just to maintain some pressure on a team if they think that they're going to outright bully the Chiefs. Much like as we transition here into a Carolina Panthers offense who has not had a very good production and who were known to be very run heavy in their play callings, chose to be very pass happy and put up 27 points against this Chiefs defense, which we have been gloating had been holding teams under for like the last 2 seasons, and that stretch is here gone, and now this Chiefs defense is arguably playing some of its worst football that it's been playing all year, and this not against a good team, unlike the Bills argument where it's Josh Allen and the Bills, but this is a Carolina Panthers team trying to find their identity. I'm going to give them the credit and the benefit of the doubt because they did have a bye week before this. So they felt they had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and they certainly were prepared. And especially the offensive side of the ball, the defense started to bunker down on the Chiefs a little bit, but that Panthers offense is the side of the ball that gets talked about for this game. And so the Chiefs defense is under a little bit of scrutiny right now. What are your guys' thoughts about what kind of performance this Chiefs defense put up?
It was horrid. Definitely was not satisfied with the performance at all. Now I will give them some slack in a sense to where you have been dominating, like you said, for the past 2 years, and it's like a lot of teams are starting to try to counter what you have been doing with them and how you've been playing them as well. But I think it all starts with the secondary when it comes to that, because they're definitely attacking cornerback too, and he's giving up those plays downfield, and also on those third downs as well too. They're going after him as well, where they're converting, and I think that's giving them extra possessions. But I think what they need to do is they need to buckle down. Run defense actually has been looking solid for the first part of the season, and it has been kind of dwindled down the latest part with these last couple games. So I think they need to just start from there. Start, of course, getting them in those moments. Keep on keeping them in those third and long situations. But we have to get better on third down with getting off the field, because we're getting to those downs. At least we're making them, of course, having to play throughout the full possession. We're making them utilize everything. But overall, what they're doing is they're capitalizing when we want to get them off the field and stop them and force a punt, and that's been working in our favor. But the pass rush has been suspect. We only got 1 sack in this game. Pressure wise, when we're trying to get home as well, when we send in those blitzes, have not been working out as well. I think it's just time. I don't know if they're playing lackadaisical and they're at the point now where they are just playing average ball, thinking they can get by in this game. But of course, it didn't happen in this performance. So I wasn't satisfied at all. Bryce Young was looking like a 10-year pro back there, feeling comfortable, even when Chris Jones was attacking him as well too, moving up in the pocket, throwing it on key, matching with his receivers. But yeah, we have to, on the back end, we have to play a lot better, and I think that's why the defense haven't been looking as polished, because in those moments we at least get a deflection, force a 4th and long. They have to force a punt, get them off the field. It hasn't been happening in these last matchups, so they need to get that together.
Yeah, and I think Dale took it, like he said. They found a fish and they're frying them right now. And Ozzie Johnson is on the cook me alert. You are on the milk carton. We putting out an APB for a cornerback too. We need one really bad because they're exposing it. Josh Allen was the first to get him, and now Bryce Young is the second to get him. They did have a week to prepare for the Chiefs, but you wouldn't expect them to do what they did to the Chiefs defense, being what the Chiefs have showed us throughout the season this year. That was like absolutely horrid. They haven't really kind of shown the ability that they have at the beginning of the season to stop the run. But I think the cornerbacks are more of a problem than anything. It's not so much the pass rush, and so not so much stopping the run, but the cornerbacks and the pass rush. So 2 things that Spags defense really needs. We thrive in 3rd and long, and we don't find ourselves in those situations a lot anymore, and I don't like that because we're not going to have a lot of success, and that's why I think you see us getting picked on a lot. Our safeties getting picked on a lot, linebackers getting picked on a lot. We're not in advantageous situations for Spags defense. We want to be in 3rd and long, and 4th and long when we're trying to send the pass rush, pin our ears back, and go get the quarterback. So I think that we just got to put ourselves in more advantageous situations. I don't think it's something that the Chiefs can't fix. This is my real question is, how bad or how good do they think Najee Johnson can be, and do they think he just needs to get his feet up under him? Because if that is Najee Johnson's like worst game, or if he's going to continue to do that, like we're going to have to find the answer. Hopefully he's getting better, and they know he can get better. But I don't know if he's the answer at cornerback too, and it doesn't look like they're going to call on Josh Williams or Roland Wallace. Those guys aren't even getting any snaps anymore. So I don't know where the Chiefs go from here, but it's definitely a cornerback issue, and they're going to have to get that figured out, or they're going to end up like the Eagles last year, going out in the wild card game.
All right, I want to go through some of Rod's takes, and then I'll give mine, which I think both of y'all have probably summed up very nicely. Spags needs to protect Najee and Chamari, and that's probably not an understatement there. Those are 2 of the most picked on, and at least Chamari Connor has flashed a lot more. Najee, I think, has in a couple weeks, but Chamari Connor is more that type of safety. Hicks might need to see more of the action. I would not disagree with that take. He might be one of the on-team answers. And then you also had thrown in Xavier Howard as an option. But I think the Chiefs are always trying to go youth in the secondary if they can. And, L'Jarius Sneed might be a good example for that and what happened to him this season. But I think overall for me, the secondary was just not up to some of their standards that they're used to, because it was just about everybody, including, Trent McDuffie, the highlight of our secondary. He may have been in position, but he was still getting beat. And at a time, you still don't want to see a player get beat. And yes, he may not be the one getting picked on, but the Panthers were not scared to throw the ball against this Chiefs secondary. And that kind of are red flag signals to me. Because if a team like Carolina, after a week before a team like Buffalo, I think just about any team could make this defense look, as down in the dumps as they have in previous years before this. I'm really hoping that this is just a lull in the system and they're trying to get their kinks worked out. But right now, this is concerning because their standards have changed for what we expect of this defense, both from last year and the beginning of this year. And for the past 2 games in a row, in this game against arguably an inferior team, they are just not performing at that standard that we would hope for. But let's go ahead and give our positive notes about the defense, if there are any, and then give our final takes and be finished. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bright spot. I said Chris Jones didn't do anything. And again, he really is not showing up on the stat sheet whatsoever. But it's because teams are refusing to let him get there. And this defensive line needs some guys who can get to the quarterback. Mike Dana is a guy who also flashed for me as solely as a run stuffer. When this Chiefs defensive unit was already really good against the run and the Panthers were known to be run, they basically just chose not to this whole game. There were a couple times they did. One time I think they broke for a little more than 10 yards, but running the ball was not on the Panthers' idea of what to do. And I think Mike Dana was big in the decisions of why that happened. So I'm cheating and I'm taking 2 because I think Chris Jones just makes such an impact in the passing game, even though we just can't get home for the pass rush. And I think Mike Dana makes such an impact in the run defense. It just kind of dictates everything else.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not really too many bright spots to pick from. But if I had to pick one bright spot, Clinton kind of already took it, but I was going to say Treshaun Wharton. He finds a way to kind of rear his head every game and has been the past couple games now. He is the one bright spot I think that we do have up front, stopping the run, and then even kind of sometimes putting pressure on the quarterback in situations where Chris Jones is not getting home. So I think he's kind of like an unsung hero. That used to go to George Karlaftis, but George Karlaftis has also been missing in action as well. MI as well. He's on a milk carton now as well with Nazi Johnson. So I think that Treshaun Wharton kind of showed his face today. And I think he's going to continue to show his face throughout the season. He's getting back healthy. He didn't get to play last year, was hurt. So I love what I'm seeing from Turk.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Brian Cook. Give it to someone in the defensive back group. Just because I saw him on a couple plays where he was there and he was there, and of course making a play on the ball. It was one big in the end zone as well too that he was able to break up. So I just seeing that he's actually doing better than what we have seen Justin Reed do in coverage. I think this might show that once it comes to the end of the season, the result of whatever happens with that for us as well too. It might be Justin Reed last season with the Chiefs, and I think they might be ready to transition over to a guy like Brian Cook to take the helm and then work guys like Shamari Connor and Brian Hicks at that other safety spot. So shout out to him for of course doing his part and playing rearing his end and coming back from a big injury that he had last season, and just showing those flashes and showing his consistency throughout this year. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Brian Cook on this one because y'all took everybody else.
Hey, sometimes that's what you just got to do. You got to
Right.
easily your way into a spot. Hey, I'm going to go first this week. I know I don't always, but all right. Well, I'm going to go through the last couple comments we have on our live stream. Thank you all for who have joined us. Those who have watched but didn't participate, feel free to comment. And thank you, Rod, for proving to us that Twitter people can in fact join the comments and their comments can be seen. So it is possible for you to watch and communicate on Twitter. So if you're watching us on there and haven't said anything, make sure to pop in and say what's up and let us know that we should do most of our stuff on lives because you guys want to communicate to us whenever we're available. So last couple of things. Rod's kind of suggesting we might need to trade up for another cornerback. That may or may not be a possibility. It's just the players you got now are not living up to the standard that L'Jarius Sneed and Travarius Ward before him set. So we just need the players to step up into those roles that they always kind of account for. But I think Jalen Watson was slotted into that, and him being out just kind of shut everything down. And I guess Brett Veach said there wasn't anybody available that was as good as Jalen Watson or as much potential as anybody else on the team already. So might as well just try and see what you have right now before you add more.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. Like, yeah, I think you hit on the nose right there. Like, Jalen Watson was it. I want to put it out there. He was it. We were fine before that. Well, that's obvious. We're just trying to fill in someone that can, and it's kind of hard when you don't have the talent on the back end. I think everyone else kind of implementing in, try to get the young guys up, like the J.D. Hicks and everything like that. I wish we never would have gave up Kamal Hatton. I think that was a bad mistake. We should have probably kept him on the roster. That probably would have been a better look. Who knows? But yeah, like Jalen Watson was it before. I will say that, but we don't know. I mean, I don't think we have a lot of collateral to be able to try to move up in the first round, depending on what it is. It'll have to be someone who's probably trying to clear cap and they just take whatever we have. But at that point, I don't know what can happen. So they said it already. They want Nate Taylor. He put it out there. They said really they want Najee Johnson to get a lot of these reps before the postseason come. They feel like he gets this experience right now. He'll be better set when we play our first game in the playoffs come January.
So as expected, this game was a game that they could limp through, just as we are limping through this post game as well. But appreciate anybody who joined us and listens after the fact. And lastly, Rod thinks that Felix is a true defensive end, just not an edge, and he can stop the run, but not quite a good pass rusher. And specifically on the inside, and I think Spagnuolo kind of prefers those type of skill sets that you win a pass rush rep going up the middle sometime, other than what was kind of working against the Chiefs a lot of the times, that quick speed around the corner and you beat the tackle straight ahead. But it'd be nice to see Felix kind of round out into that whole player, but he's young. The Chiefs, much like Kingsley, they take players who are very young and hope that they have enough time to evolve them, and if they live up to the standard that they have for them, they'll get that second contract and those extra 5 years before they turn 30, and then you get those tough decisions that need to be made and the conversations that get had, but those are for the future. So much like the Chiefs considered this game, we are officially moved on. The Chiefs have beaten the Carolina Panthers 30-27, but now it is officially time to consider Week 13, which is a Black Friday game against the Las Vegas Raiders. I will be in attendance to that game, of course. It will be interrupting our Thanksgiving week. But anybody going to the game, I hope you enjoy and have a safe holidays. Expect some content throughout this Thanksgiving week. We still have more details to cover about this Carolina game, and also kind of foreshadowing what this Raiders game is going to be like here in Arrowhead here on Friday, 5 days from now, as we are here live. Any final thoughts that you two have for the viewers before they officially start their Victory Monday and their Thanksgiving week?
I was just gonna say enjoy it. Keep winning. It's one more win in the win column. We're trying to get to the point to where we can rest our players to get to the playoffs. That's all we need to do. The rest of our season starts in January, going into February. You guys know how this goes, so enjoy them while we got them.
Yeah, keep on just winning. We was talking about beforehand, Clayton. really with these next couple games that we have coming up, you win those, you really kind of put yourself in position to just go ahead and clinch the playoff. Then you're focusing on with that seeding after that as well too. But then you can start resting people up. So just keep on taking the wins. However we get the wins, we'll take them how we take them. But at the same time, there's improvement there within that you can, of course, get better each week out. So just overall, we have it short week. It's going to be tough. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. So make sure y'all checking it out because it's going to be like rapid fire because, we got to get ready for Thanksgiving. Y'all going to be cooking early. So while y'all cooking, y'all can tap in with some of the old content. You know what I'm saying? Just tap in. Ron said you got a special pick 6 video. I want to see that.
That's
because
right.
You're not going to interrupt my extra point video, right? That's what you're not going to do. Unless we're collabing. We can do that.
What's going to happen is the viewers get a special video and article combination, or they get a 1-2 punch in the same spot. This is a Substack exclusive, baby. You gotta get.
I like the collab idea, like on some You Hear Me, and then you got Kagrai coming in. Like I don't know, we might just. We're gonna talk later. Just talk.
Guys, we interrupt this live stream for a Red Kingdom Media business meeting. Actually, we're going to go ahead and hit the red button to end this live stream. Hope you all enjoyed this show, and we, of course, hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the Thanksgiving meal you get with your family, and then, of course, get the day you get to spend with your Red Kingdom Media family as we break down this game for you, start to finish. And literally, as soon as we're done, I start my process for getting you a Home of the Chiefs breakdown video about this close call in Carolina. Wink, wink. I hope you all enjoy your week and, of course, enjoy the rest of your victory Sunday into Monday. As always, go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion. So please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.